So well, you were going to be a Secret Service agent. That's amazing. So what made you take your first big risk? What was it and how did it turn out?
Well, I would say my first big risk was leaving Texas, where I grew up. I was born and
Hmm.
raised in Austin, Texas, and moving by myself to Wyoming. Even though we had family in Wyoming, I mean, none of my classmates from high school went to the University of Wyoming. And so I just picked up and moved to Wyoming to attend the university. So that was the first one. But really, the one that I wrote about in Riskformation is selling my car and my waterbed back then in 1989 and buying a one-way ticket after college to move to Spain. So that was the big
Saw
one.
that. Yeah.
And how did it turn out?
Wow.
Well, I'm bilingual now. I was going to be there for 1 year and I stayed for 2, then moved to
Beautiful.
Mexico and da da da.
What did that transformation look like as you got older, right? What did you traveled to all these places? You've
Yeah,
experienced all these things, learned different language.
it just opens doors in the real estate business. It
Mm,
has, because of knowing different parts of the world, as an example. I didn't, when I took off to go to Spain, I thought that was a one-off. I thought, oh, I'll live in Spain for a year and then come back
mm,
and go back to the Secret Service. But all these different experiences, living in Hong Kong and London, that was with United Airlines. I became a flight attendant. Living in Italy, I was a bicycling guide. And, so now in our business, and whether you're in real estate or a lender or, an attorney like you just had on your show, any extra experience you can gain gives you talking
mhm.
points with your client base. And, I run into a lot of Latinos now because I am bilingual who I sell a lot of new construction. And one of the things my top client, my builder, loves is that I can go on his job site and speak with his workers with respect. I mean, I adore
It's
them. They're
amazing.
great
Yeah.
people. And
Yep.
so, but I tell them all the time, I say, you guys, oh, they're like, es increíble que hablas español. And I'm like, but it was a lot of hard work. And I said,
Hmm.
if you ever decide to go back to Mexico or X country, maybe practice learning English while you're here, which is a big risk. This is the biggest risk, is looking like a dummy when you're speaking a foreign language.
So, Ann, what is your next risk?
There are a bunch of different types of risk. There's financial risk, there's, health and safety, and recreational. I did a zip line one time that terrified me, but,
Oh, yeah.
social risk is one of them. And this, I don't know, I was thinking about this in preparation for the show. I've
Hmm.
got a fitness goal and right now for this year, and I thought, well, the best way, like what's at the end of the year that could kind of culminate that? And so I'm going to put it on your
Hmm.
show. I want to, for Halloween this year, I want to
Hmm.
look good, not just wear it, look good in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit. That's my Halloween thing.
Wow. Wow. Good for
That's a
you.
risk. When you set a goal, I mean, the thing is, it'll create some fear in you. Obviously, a lot of people
Hmm.
turn tail and run, they don't follow through.
Hmm.
But if you take the action and you go get on the treadmill every morning or whatever, it'll create change, which then goes to confidence and helps you take your next risk. And that is what I call the
100.
self actualization wheel. That it just builds on it and it builds on it, and people are like, how do you do it? Well, just keep taking risks and keep challenging yourself, and you're going to have some fear, but just go through it.
Humans were meant to survive through not being complacent, but from doing stuff and from taking risk and from being out there and putting themselves out there. And I mean, I'm sure you would agree with that, right? Like you're not growing unless you're failing, unless you're taking risks. I'd love to hear like your kind of thought on that.
My husband had a business that was financial planning, and
Mm,
he said, it's so interesting is the data, and I don't have the exact data, but he said the data is astounding that after people retire, within
hmm.
12 months, many times people pass away because they have nothing that they're aiming for. You just have to
Yep.
aim for something. And so, that's kind of a morbid thing, but gosh, it's true. Like we are so, geared for that to succeed, to try, to do, not to sit. And I always say, take smart risks. I spoke to the women's prison in Idaho several times, actually. And, this was a big topic because a lot of them had taken risks that were unhealthy risks for them. So, take a smart risk that will transform your life. And that's why, Riskformation, it's transformation through risk. Challenge, risk, just, it's a different word, but honestly, you're right. As long as you just keep going and challenging yourself, I think you can grow that brain.